Hey guys, Mr. Cheese Gaming here, and welcome back to more of Let's Play Pokémon Platinum. Last episode was not a good episode, but hopefully this will turn out better. Floraroma Town. It's a beautiful, gentle music. I love the accordion. I love the harp. I love plucked strings. Too bad this is a rest stop town and we're gonna have to leave immediately. Oh well. Anyways, welcome to Route 205, which is just as good music. We got a Chesto Berry. This wakes up Pokemon when they fall asleep. And right here is a Pekka Berry. I want to say that heals burns. Poison. Okay. It's the raspberry that heals from burns. And this little girl is not a trainer.
Help, help, trainer! Please, I want to see my papa. My papa and I lived in the Valley Windworks.
You live at work? Well, I guess that is kind of common in Japan.
But then a whole bunch of people dressed like spacemen came. They kicked me out and they're making my papa do something. Please, trainer, I miss my papa.
Very well. You look like spacemen. We, Team Galactic, are conducting research in the Eternal Forest. This is as far as you will go. Our research involves catching Pokemon in the flowery meadows of Floraroma. We are also covertly stealing the energy of the Valley Windworks. Well, thanks for being so blunt about it. But that is of no concern to you. Thanks for being so blunt about it. Alright, there are new Pokemon that you can obtain here, but before I go over that, get a potion right down there. Let's first go over the new Pokemon you can encounter right now. 3 new Pokemon you can find right outside the Valley Windworks. First up is Pachirisu. Pachirisu is terrible. It has good speed and special defense, but its other stats are bad, and really, speed and defense don't really work well together. However, it is only weak to ground, but also resists very little. Good moves to teach it to Pachirisu is Discharge at level 29 and Super Fang at level 33. And that's it. Interestingly, Pachirisu has the lowest base stat total of any Pokemon that was part of the winning team of a Pokemon World Championship. That still doesn't mean I recommend it. The other Pokemon you can obtain, and actually one of my favorite Pokemon, is Floatzel, and despite being one of my favorites, unfortunately it is also pretty terrible. It has great speed and good attack, but its other stats are really bad. Few weaknesses, but also few weakness resistances. Really, it doesn't learn any good moves, at least unless you're willing to teach it some TN moves. It is actually one of the last 3 Gen 4 Pokemon revealed in the movie Temple of the Sea. The other Pokemon you can find here is Shellos. Or is it Shellos? I never understood the pronunciation, and I probably should have looked it up before doing this. But Shellos is terrible. Has good stats, save for defense and speed, and like how I said, speed and defense are bad when they're high. They're bad when they're low as well, because it's slow and it's vulnerable. At least it has a few weaknesses, but doesn't resist a whole lot either. It has a terrible moveset as well. You're gonna be dependent on using TM moves until it learns to recover at level 54. Interestingly, Shellos was originally planned for Ruby and Sapphire, but was never added due to time restraints. Now that we got that out of the way, Valley Windworks, ecological wind-driven energy. I always do find safe energy. Very... rather interesting. Anyways, you. Don't you dare go into the Valley Windworks. I got ordered to keep any free one out if they are not part of Team Galactic. You're giving me a look that makes me think you're gonna try to get in. Okay then, you'll have to battle me for it. Second time, third grunt. Only has one Pokemon on his team, and that's a Glameow. You're making this an easy battle. Really good level up. Yeah, like I'm supposed to win a Pokemon battle like this. Isn't that just great, getting owned by some kid? But you can't do a thing if I lock myself in with the work ski. That's right, the other work ski's not here. My cohorts in the flower patch have the only other one. In that sense, I'm no longer the loser. Now that's very competent. If this was Team Rocket or anyone else, they would let me pass. But not this guy. He's smart enough to lock us in. Don't worry, little girl. I'll help your papa. Very well. And it seems like the grunts have disappeared. What are you guys doing to that poor man? Enough arguing, hand over that sweet honey. You as we say, Team Galactic will have that honey. Honey? Really? We must have it to attract Pokemon in great numbers. Hello. Hey, this kid is a witness. What'll we do? We don't need the brat running off to get help. The solution's simple. We ensure the brat stays quiet. Oh, for a second there I was like wondering if it's gonna be a double battle, but I guess not. Stunky, I believe that fighting type moves are gonna be super effective against poison types as well. By the way, Stunky, I like that your face is a butt. I can't tell if you're supposed to be a cat or a skunk. Probably a skunk, but God, your face looks like a butt. I just find that hilarious. This is why I'm gonna be stuck as a grunt forever. You will. This is so lame. They're gonna dock my pay. I'm up next. Battling you right after my cohort awakened you gives me the edge. True. However... Oh. Flying type. Flying types are actually strong against some fighting types, but I don't think that Zubat that low of a level would have access to flying type moves. I could be completely wrong, because I'm going off memory. Probably not if it's using Astonish. Besides, what am I worried about? I'm an evolved Pokemon fighting against unevolved Pokemon. Supersonic causes confusion. Basically a 50% chance of me hitting myself each turn, as opposed to attacking the other. I want a promotion so I can get some fluffer Pokemon. Can you imagine a villainous team where they actually do give tough Pokemon to the grunts? This Blat's tough. Like, really, really tough. Tougher than I can put into words, and I know a lot of words. We're done for here. Let's get back to the Valley Windworks. Oh, what's that? This thing? They seem to have forgotten it. It's a work ski. Must be for the Valley Windworks. It's of no use to me. You may as well have it. Now we can stop them from taking over the wind power plant. Thank you, you surely saved me. Those goons were trying to rob me of my sweet, sweet honey. Why? They sure were weird, though. Stealing honey is weird in of itself, sir. You saw how they were dressed. Again, stealing honey by itself is weird. Forget about their clothing. What they were saying didn't make a whole lot of sense either. Oh, I need to thank you. This sweet, sweet honey. Go on, thank a whole lot. We'll actually obtain 10 honey instead of just 1. Basically, you saw that golden tree outside the Valley Windworks? Well, if we spread honey on it and check occasionally, you can get some rare Pokémon from it. Kind of like the equivalent of using Headbutt, except in Gen 2, except you're using an item instead of using a move outside of battle. On a tree, it might attract Pokémon. You can't do it on every tree. You can only do it on the sweet-smelling trees, like this one. I'll go over the Pokémon that you can obtain right now from these trees. Okay, first Pokémon you can get here from the honey trees. First up is Apom. Apom it's decent. It has great speed and good attack, but its other stats are bad. Thankfully, being a normal type Pokemon, it's only weak to fighting and is completely immune to ghosts. Moves to teach Ambipom is Baton Pass, Swift, Agility, Nasty Plot. It basically exists to, well, be a Baton Pass user. Increases stats with Agility and Nasty Plot, and then quickly switch into Baton Pass, or perhaps use Swift to dish out some damage beforehand. Next up is Heracross. Now, Heracross is actually great and is actually one of the best, the best Pokemon you can get from these honey trees, and it's not too uncommon as well. Its attack is great, and its other stats are also pretty good. It has very few weaknesses, very few resistances, and the downside is it takes a while for it to learn some of its best moves outside of TMs, namely Close Combat at 37 and Mega Horn at level 55. But have patience, it can be a really good Pokemon. Why is it great? Highest attack stat of all Bug-type Pokemon to date. Burmy, on the other hand, well, Burmy is interesting. It evolves depending on gender. If it's female, it evolves into Wormadam, and if it's male, it evolves into Mothim. Wormadam is, well, its moveset is also interesting. Its moveset is going to be different depending on the form, and the form that it evolves into depends on Burmy's form at the moment, and Burmy's form at the moment depends on the location of its previous battle. Plant Cloak if it battled in tall grass, Sandy Cloak if it's battled in like the sea or on beaches or deserts, Trash Cloak if it last battled within a town or a city. Wormadam, regardless of what it evolves, what form it takes on, is terrible. It has good defenses, but otherwise it is bad, especially offensively. Very few weaknesses or resistances, but the thing is, this moveset is terrible. Its only good move that it learns is Psychic at level 44. Well, the Plant Cloak also learns Leaf Storm at level 47, but really, do you really want to stick with such a weak Pokemon up until then? And Sandy Cloak and Trash Cloak doesn't even have Leaf Storm. It's just stuck with Psychic that it learns at level 44. So, overall, terrible. Mothim, also terrible. It has good attack, but terrible defense. Basically, Mothim is more of the offensive, well, Wormadam tries to be defensive. It also doesn't have a whole lot of weaknesses, also doesn't have a whole lot of resistances. It at least has the advantage of having a slightly better learned set. It learns Air Slash at level 41, and learns Bug Buzz at level 47. Again, do you really want to stick with such a terrible Pokemon until it learns those two moves? Burmy, I'm sorry, but regardless of what you evolve into, no matter what you wear, you might as well wear the trash cloak because all of your evolutions are, well, trash. Combi, terrible. Terrible speed, other stats are good, few weaknesses or resistances. It has the lowest base stat of any flying type Pokemon, and only the females evolve. Thankfully, it's not too hard to come across a female Combi in order to evolve it into a Vespiquen. Vespiquen has Toxic at level 27, which can be good, and it does learn Attack Order at level 37, but the thing is that with terrible speed and mediocre stats, it's overall not a good Pokemon to have. Other Pokemon you can find here is Cherubi. Cherubi is also terrible, but also one of the more interesting Pokemon in this game. It has good special stats and speed, but its other stats are bad. It has few weaknesses or resistances, and once it evolves into Cherrim, well, actually before it evolves into Cherrim, because it evolves into Cherrim at level 25, never mind! Cherubi learns Sunny Day at level 22, and Cherrim does take an interesting advantage with Sunny Day. Cherrim has the ability Flower Gift, which changes its form in sunlight, and also increases its attack and special defense. Downside is, doesn't really learn a whole lot of other moves. That at least none that are quite useful outside of TMs. There is one Pokemon that is actually really good, better than Heracross, but the downside is that it's extremely rare, and that Pokemon is Munchlax. Want to know how rare Munchlax is? Consider it the Feebas of this generation. It can only be found on 4 randomly generated trees with a 1% encounter rate. Overall, pretty, really rare. It has a good, but if you manage to find it, lucky you, because it has good attack stat, good special defense. Other stats are bad, however, if it has thick fat, it's only going to resist, it can resist fire and ice attacks, otherwise it's only weak to fighting type moves. Also has a really good learn set when it evolves into Snorlax, having Rest at level 25, Sleep Talk at level 28, which allows it to use attacks despite being asleep, Body Slam, which hits hard, and Crunch is good coverage move that it learns naturally through level up, simply at level 44. What's interesting about Munchlax though is, this actually confused me. It was the first Pokemon, it was the first Gen 4 Pokemon revealed, sorry. And this actually confused me as a kid because I owned a Prima Pokemon Pokédex Collector's Edition, and for obvious reasons I could not find Munchlax in there. Obviously, it took me a couple of years to make me realize that Munchlax is simply a Pokemon that hasn't appeared in the games yet. Got to see ourselves on the news right there. Well, not ourselves, but rather just the painting. Did not care for the title. Well, I didn't care much for the title either, but come on. I can come up with more creative titles just by, and you know that just by looking at the video titles, but oh well. Take what you can get, I guess. But honestly, I think that's it for this video. If you like this video, go ahead and hit that like button. Feel free to leave behind a comment. I look forward to seeing you guys next time.